Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Berserk manga read-through. We have put the eclipse behind us, finally, but now we have to deal with the aftermath of those traumatic events as we begin Volume 14, where the Golden Age arc comes to a close in chapters 92, 93, and 94, which we'll be reading today. To round out the Golden Age after many chapters and many episodes and you guys coming along a massive journey, the Golden Age ends. The 97 anime couldn't even adapt the whole thing. They left us on the massive cliffhanger of a claw going into Guts' eye, and then they just went, yep, that's good. We'll just call it there. We'll just have the scene between Femto and Casca just full bore, just going on screen, and Guts screaming, and then we're just going to end. They don't need more. They don't need any more context. That's fine. We'll just end it, and if they want more, they can go and read the manga. Like this guy. And here we are, actually finally finishing and seeing the conclusion of this arc, and entering new territory, which is really, really exciting. So we're going to start seeing, I guess, the development of the Black Swordsman, where that title comes from. I'm assuming, I just wanted to scroll down so we can see this, the cover art for Volume 14. We can see that there is an arm here of mechanical nature, because we're going to start seeing how he pieces himself back together. He was absolutely shredded down to his last bit of life. Griffith took the only other thing in his life away from him. Guts has two things. He has his sword, and he had Casca. And it was really hard for him to open up and be vulnerable and develop that relationship with Casca. That took a lot of time, a lot of headbutting, a lot of them being... It's an enemies to lovers trope. And Griffith didn't do what he did to Casca because of how he felt or may have felt towards Casca. Casca was only ever a tool for Griffith, and in that final scene of the three of them together at the end of the eclipse, is we see Griffith once again using Casca as a tool, an object, to break Guts. Only for Guts. He was staring at him the whole time. The whole thing was purely Guts motivated. And I mean, I'd say it got the job done, but it also earned Femto a lifetime of being hunted by this guy. It's his very own brand of sacrifice, a brand of revenge, if you will. So it's definitely a very heavy-handed way to round out that scene with the eclipse before Skull Knight drops in like the bro that he is and picks him up and saves Casca and Guts. But it was such a crazy scene, in ways so over the top, especially compared to how we've seen how Guts' version of that was way more toned down and sort of like not really needed to be elaborated on. We know the impact of these things, we know what happened, but Casca's was just so over the top. It was visceral, it was crazy. But we can now finally move on from that stuff. But if anyone can watch that, if anyone can read that and look at Griffith and sympathize with him, nah. Doesn't matter how tragic his story is or his upbringing or the fact that he wants a dream. Griffith has always been a villain. Griffith has always been cruel, and he's very manipulative. So manipulative, like it's textbook. He literally manipulated an entire army to serve him no matter what, to die for him, and then they did, in a mass betrayal where they were sacrificed for him to achieve his dream. He walked and used hundreds of thousands of corpses as his stepping stones to a castle that he may never even reach. And then to add more corpses onto the pile at the end, now he is left with just 4 other demon monsters as his new friends to hang out and go, ha ha ha, causality. Isn't this fun, Griffith? Aren't you happy that you gave up all that you were and all that you are for a pair of wings and a purple Batman suit? Like, are you happy with yourself? No. But I'm very excited and interested to see how that relationship is going to develop. I wonder if we're going to have any meetings between Guts and Griffith between like now and where we saw the Black Swordsman last, because if we go back to the Black Swordsman arc, the God Hand is summoned in the Count's battle, and Griffith and Guts have a little face-off. What's interesting there is I kind of hope that that's not the first time that they see each other since the eclipse, because it just feels like there would be more energy, there would be more emotion there. Femto is very much does not even care about Guts at that point, and I wonder why. He doesn't really give him the time of day and kind of shrugs him off, but Guts is very much like, Griffith! Like, filled with rage. He's bringing the emotion to that. Rightly so. But I wonder why Femto was not bringing the same, or whether there was, you know, I don't know what was going on in there. So we'll have to figure that out, whether they're going to meet before that moment chronologically, whether they'll meet again after that chronologically. Who knows? Because the crux of Berserk as a story is this man's very, very tragic upbringing and suffering, pushing him forward in life to, you know, keep on struggling. But then he meets a man who changes him more than anyone ever could. And Berserk is very wholly about Guts and Griffith's relationship. And everything else is secondary. That's at least what the Golden Age arc represents to me. I can't speak for future arcs or chapters or anything like that, but it definitely seems like it's very much a tale of Guts and Griffith and their dynamic. That could completely shift now, and we can move into a new chapter with a new arc coming in, so it might completely change. But their character dynamic is essentially the reason for the story. It's directed the entire story. Guts and Griffith have had such a heavy impact on each other's lives that it caused everything else to fall into place. In the way that Guts took what Griffith was saying about friendship so hard, so literally, that from that moment onwards, Guts changed as a person. And he started thinking about what he wanted to do with his life, and he reevaluated everything. And that was just Griffith just boasting to Charlotte, just being like, oh ho ho. But like, you know, after a night out or whatever, Guts had just murdered someone and then accidentally murdered a child for Griffith, for his dream, and then went up to talk to him about it. And then he just gets this, you know, Griffith going, you know what, I can only call someone a friend if they can, like, you know, fucking fight me and win and, you know, walk away, and if they're truly my equal, then I'll call them a friend. But anyone who's, you know, beneath me, fuck them. And we don't know really if Griffith was being 100% serious at a moment like that. It definitely does come across as like, this is kind of like boastful language to impress a girl, sort of stuff. But Guts took that to heart, very literally. And Casca also overheard that, which is why that conversation came up again later on when Griffith was in the cart, doing one of his classic observational moments of looking at Guts and Casca and internally processing that. He knew exactly how to get to Guts and to break him down, which he did unfortunately. And now we have this, like, where our main characters are at right now is Casca has regressed to the point where she's not even speaking, no memories of before, the entire relationship and all of that build up and progress is gone. The only one who knows what happened in there besides the God Hand is Guts. He has to carry that weight, while Casca is basically a blank slate, which I don't know how I feel about that yet, and we're gonna have to see how that develops. And then we just have this man who's probably filled with a very burning sense of rage and desire for revenge, and that's why he's going to become the Black Swordsman and hunt demons that are also hunting him to get to eventually, I assume, Femto, and we will just have to see how that goes. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to pull apart in a story like this, right? And I really do try my best to give you my thoughts and feelings and how I'm perceiving the story as we're going along. And I feel like this is a good opportunity because this is, you know, only a few chapters to finish the Golden Age, that I did want to at least take this opportunity to talk to you guys about how I'm feeling post-Eclipse. We really get into the heads of these characters, because I'm not trying to just rush through reading this story. I'm not trying to, like, I'm not binging this at all. Like, I read something and then I think about it quite a bit before I come back and we sit down and we go through the next few chapters, right? So I'm not binging this in any capacity, and I'm happy to take this story as it comes, because it's a long story. I feel like it's going to be a very good story. I mean, there's no way that this story would go on for at this point over 360 chapters if it wasn't successful and well loved and a good story. That is my current roundup of where we're at post Eclipse, and we're going to see what happens to Guts in chapter 92. But I did just realize that I forgot to update the background of this video to volume 14, and we have to rectify that immediately. So let's fix that, and then let's jump into chapter 92. Okay, we are ready to jump in. Let's do chapter 92. I am expecting Puck to show up at some point in the volume, because as I've changed the cover art to volume 14, it is a cover that features both Guts and Puck together. So it looks like we might be seeing that coming into play, which is curious because that might mean that there's actually not much time in between the Golden Age ending and the Black Swordsman arc starting, chronologically. But I mean, it could just be some fancy art to be reminiscent of that era. We still don't know. But showing Guts and Puck on the cover together might lead me to believe that we could be jumping into that timeline already. I mean, for all we know, the timeline could just decide to skip over this soon and just go back to where the Black Swordsman arc ended, and we could just go back there again. So, because they're not going to rehash, I don't expect them to rehash that small little arc, but lead up to it, and then I guess give us some sort of storytelling moment to jump over that arc. Who knows? So let's have a read. We'll skip over our contents, and our first chapter 92 is actually called Demon Infant, which is Guts, who has been picked up by Skull Knight to rush back to Casca because, you know, she's also got the brand, so she's got to run on back. Whoa! Through the night forest, just like wind. You said this makes twice you've carried me? What's that mean? I'm the one who carried you both from that otherworldly land. What? Don't thank me, it was incidental. This too has some connection. Who the hell are you? I am the foe of the Inhumans. That's all I'll say for now. Why'd you bring us to these mountains? I've never told anyone else about this place. Well, I merely brought you to the nearest safe place to that otherworldly gate. Formerly, elves lived in those mountains. Even though the elves have left, the earth's energy is strong. It was a most suitable place in which to hide from those of the darkness. I didn't know you had some connection to the place. It was chance. Oh yeah. Godderman mentioned that once. Likewise, what saved you from death was the elf dust that your friend by chance had with him. Yep, Puck's little elf dust. His healing dust, which we haven't seen in a long while. It's Berserk's Senzu beans. Elf dust? Medicine of the highest quality. It is not easy to come by. Seldom do elves reveal themselves to humans. Maybe you have some tie to the elves. Even so, I suppose you have no desire to believe in destiny and such. Yeah, not now. But if we're supposed to hide ourselves, why is Casca? Perhaps she's gone outside the ore cave. If she doesn't want the evil spirits to approach, she mustn't leave that place. All the better if it's a place in the sunlight, but once the sun sets, or if she walks into a dark forest, the dead will gather around her. Like what just happened to you. Hey, wait a minute. That means from now on, she has to stay inside that cellar? Casca does? There. So is this what ends up happening to Casca to keep her alive? They just put her in a room and say, okay, you're here now, but at least you're alive. With no speech, no memories, and no character development. Please tell me that she gets some semblance of a character back, because that's gonna be... Don't tell me, actually. That's sarcasm. I'm not saying please tell me. That is a rhetorical. It's please tell me, and that's an internal note to myself of please tell me that she gets some semblance of a character back, because if she just becomes a traumatized, regressed individual forever, that's gonna be so upsetting that we were completely robbed of a relationship between these two, and also all of that history that is shared. She's actually a very important character to the dynamic of Guts and Griffith and to the story of Berserk. She is the third of the trio after all. So I really hope that there's still character development to be had here, and they haven't just done something where it's like Mira just didn't go, well, she lives, guys, but she's kind of an empty shell. Yay. We'll see how that story pans out. She decides to stand out in the night rain as spirits wisp around her. Obviously, she would have no idea what that even means or represents. Casca! I'm gonna just keep saying Casca when I see these speech bubbles, because there are so many speech bubbles post-eclipse that just has Guts saying Cas! I'm just gonna say Casca, because it keeps cutting off early and it sounds ridiculous out loud. Casca! Wait. What? Something's wrong. The evil spirits aren't inflicting harm upon her, yet so many are gathered. Why? Too late. The damage is already done. Casca! Hey! You okay? Are you hurt? Ah! Ah! Oh no! Oh no, that's what that means. Oh no, that's what they're deciding to do. Oh no. Not only does what happens during the eclipse happen, they're also going to go the route of, oh, and also that means she's now going to have a child, and it's a demon infant. No! Oh my god, that just... So her brand is bleeding. You can see the... They're really gonna just have Griffith annihilate Casca's character and then give her a pregnancy moment from that event. And that is why the spirits are not going to harm her, because she is carrying the child of Femto. That's why she's been kept alive. I don't like that. We're not meant to like that, but I don't like that. What's wrong with you? Casca! She's freaking out. And blood begins to trickle out of her dress. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay. So she's like, blood drips out, and she's yelling about it, and something emerges. Little fucking... Oh my god, no. Bro, what the fuck? Little fucking demon fetus pops out. Little tadpole, man. How long's it? I guess fucking monster babies work differently. They just fucking ready to go immediately. But as little tiny tadpoles. A demon? This is like a demon miscarriage. No, Casca, don't protect it. Oh, God, no. Casca, move! What are you doing? And she's, like, screaming. It's her child. That girl was with a child. No. That shapeless fetus, which was only just conceived, was possessed by evil. Probably due to her sexual relations with the new God Hand. And so, it has taken on the nature of a demon. It's a cursed child. Bruh, it's already bigger. What the fuck is that? That means... Wait. It would be best to kill it. That's no human child. Someday it will bring woe upon you both. That means it's... Shut up! Hold on a minute! Bro, it's growing! No! It's gonna breastfeed on the brand of sacrifice. What the fuck is this shit? Oh no! It pops out and then just grows straight away. She's like, and like, Guts is going to be kept in this situation where it's like, it's a fucking demon child. It's Griffith's, Femto's kid that has immediately been conceived. But then he's going to look at Casca and go, fuck. Like, now Casca thinks this thing is adorable. And now if I kill this thing, it's she's going to remember that. And that's going to be her imprinting memory of me with her current state of mind is I'm never going to be able to get through to her. No! Again? He just bites his hand. This is a demon. One of those who devoured our comrades and made you this way. No! And we've got sunrise, which means the light comes through to dissipate the spirits that are surrounding them. What? Which means the baby fades away too? Oh my god, this is some fucking Orphan of Kos shit. We just birthed this weird demon baby out, and now it's just like this black phantom that just disappears. And Casca's yelling and screaming about it, because it's gone. So, it's your child. This doesn't mean it has become dust. Like the other evil spirits chased by the light, it has slipped into a place nearer the world of the dead. Someday it will appear before you both again. All children yearn for their parents, as do demons in their own way. So why is Skull Knight saying it's your child? Is he talking to Guts? How is it their child? Wouldn't they have a normal baby? Bruh. I want to mention, by the way, just briefly, we've seen this thing already. Unless they're reusing a design, which I don't think they would. We've seen this. This is the first time we're seeing this chronologically, but not in release order. We've seen this thing before, and now it's making a lot of sense. Because if we want to go back to the Black Swordsman arc, there's a moment or two where Guts sees this. And now it makes sense as to why this specific thing appears to Guts. Out of all of the demons and monsters and all of that kind of stuff, this is the thing that appears to him at points. And it's his demon child? I'm going to assume that we're in 2 points right now, which is either this is a sexual assault baby from Griffith that has instantly been conceived after the eclipse, or this is from Casca and Guts having their sexual embrace earlier on, which doesn't make sense because a lot of time has passed. And it's not adding up. But I don't know who Skull Knight's talking to here when he says it's your child, if he's talking to Guts still, because he hasn't spoken to Casca, as Casca is not capable of speech. So I don't know if they're just saying, hey, you've got this baby now, it's yours. So clarification on that without spoilers, maybe, just in case there's something that I've missed or I'm misunderstanding. If it's spoiler related and it gets revealed or spoken about later, just don't say anything. But if I've missed something, clarification is good. I'm trying not to miss this, but it's wholly confusing. I feel like I understand that this is a demon child that would occur from what we witnessed in the eclipse, that lives between the land of the dead and the land of the living, in limbo during a time of light. All children yearn for their parents, because Skull Knight's referring to Guts as the father. Guts! Rickett! Farewell. Skull Knight's like, see you later to the happy couple with their new child. We will likely meet again, should destiny dictate. If you mean to pursue the Inhumans, follow the guidance of that brand. It reacts strongly to evil. But mind this, yours is a black path through the night. When you confront those who lurk in the darkness, you also envelop yourself in it. Good journey, struggler. That is the end of Demon Infant. Yeah, that's pretty fucked. That's, yeah. That's absolutely messed up. And we're going to go into chapter 93, which is called Armament. Which is, I guess, we might see, judging by the artwork. I mean, the volume 14 artwork also had the arm, so I guess we're just being shown what he's going to become. But we've got armament. So we don't know if we're going to find out if there's like we're doing time skips through this period of time, or we'll see what happens. But there's what we know at this point is there is a demon child, and it's ugly. So that's fun. We've got our lovely cart with hay clattering about, trying to almost run over a troll. Dumbass bastard! What are you doing in the middle of the road? Hey man, hey, you're gonna get eaten. What is that? Don't get involved. It's bad news. God's sake. Sun ups and vanishes. Nothing bad, but nothing but bad omens happening. Thinking about sacrifice. Nice, we're back with these guys again. Hold on now, Erica. Shh, this way. Should we really be... And they peek in the barn. Nice, the armory. Ta-da! Incredible! So many weapons and armor. They say my daddy's so good, he's really famous in town. He used to make swords and armor for the local lord. And that's not all. Bows and arrows, cannons, spurs, horseshoes. Oh wow, it's the crossbow. What's the deal with this? And lots more. Torture devices. And kinky stuff. Chastity belt. Old school style. With a literally just a fucking keyhole in the middle. That's so funny. But yeah, it's torture devices. Love it. There's all sorts of fucked up shit in here. We got the replacement arm, which is cool that what we are seeing here instantly being shown to us is what we're going to see Guts making for himself, which is a gimp mask. You know, that's the twist. Is he puts on his little metallic gimp mask and no cannon crossbow arm. That doesn't happen at all. He just puts on a mask. But I can't wait to see Guts obviously come in here, and we're obviously seeing these ingredients to his future appearance that we see. Oh fuck. What's this? Oh, that? The Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer? A king sent out a proclamation long ago to bring him a sword that could kill a dragon, and so the Lord put me on the job. At that time, I'd gotten sick of doing work for nobles. Make him refined, make him elegant. Look at this sword compared to Rickett. That was no sword. It was a slab of iron. So this is the sword then. This whole armory contains Guts' future. Swords are just large butcher's knives, after all, tools meant for killing people. And so I forged it, as it was described, a sword that could butcher a dragon. So then, I almost got hung out to dry. So I ran away from the castle town, and I've lived here quietly since. I sure was young back then. Mighty things that could kill, that's all there was for me. But if anyone could handle this, it'd still just be a hindrance. I don't like losing track of the essence of a tool, but that's exactly what I did here. Now it's a good reminder. Can it kill one? Could this really kill a dragon? If there were any dragons. But you know this ain't even what you'd call a sword. It's a meaningless slab of iron you can't even lift for killing dragons and monsters that ain't even real. Your friend looks like he's about to fight a dragon, though. Seems to want to fight even after losing his hand and eye. He ain't up to the job, is he? Dragons. Are dragons because humans can't beat them? Dragons are dragons because humans can't beat them. That's a cool shot of him. So I guess he trains and refines himself with his sword with one arm and one eye. He's gone fishing, yep. Gone fishing. Chopped clean in half. Right back to training. Good. So tomorrow, you leave? Yeah. Thanks for all your help. You don't have to Guts won't tell me anything. But I really do realize, I don't want to believe it, but the Band of the Hawk is... I'll come open this in the morning. Thanks. A key so Casca won't go outside. She's like a prisoner. Yeah, because I guess she'll want to like go out into the night and be like, where's my baby? And she's angry. She's pissed. We're back at square one. Even further back of angry Casca, who's aggressive towards Guts. Bet you're hungry. We got it made today. Erica really outdid herself. She just rushes in and grabs it, starts devouring it and munching it down. Better than a month ago. Okay, it's been a month. Before, she'd tried to just run because I was here. Okay, so it's been a month or more. So she gets into the bowl and just starts like slurping at it like an animal. And then ends up spilling it all over herself. What are you doing, idiot? Strip! It's gonna scald! And like, this is the... Oh, man. Like, while we can recognize that Casca has no memory of these events, they're there, subconsciously. And there's going to be particular actions that will trigger those memories, even without an explanation as to what they are or why. Which is sort of like basic trauma response trigger stuff. And Guts instantly being aggressive and trying to tear her clothes off because of an accident like this, instead of being gentle, is going to just bring all of this back. And as we see, I thought that maybe I might have been able to do an episode without censoring anything for a change, which would have been a huge victory for me. But no! Again, Casca's clothes are ripped from her body, and we see the brand of sacrifice on her chest with the titties out. And I think in this moment we can see that I think Guts understands, or at least has just like realized maybe the action that he's done here, because Casca looks absolutely terrified, and it looks like he leans in to be gentle and tries to kiss her, only then to be shoved off, and she runs away, and she's trying to escape. Right? She's like, let me the fuck out of here. So I think Guts is actually going to have to really learn to be gentle. It looks like she's regressed to the point of being a child, mentally, where her reactions and responses are very childish and animalistic. And Guts is now going to have to practice raising a child, in a sense, mentally, through Casca, to try and, I guess, nurse her back to health. So I guess that could be what's going on right now, is we're seeing, again, Guts' second reason for being, this emotional attachment and connection he has formed to Casca that's been shattered, and he has to try and repair that when both of these characters are at their worst. They've been broken down to like their bare elements, in different ways for different reasons. And we're going to have to see Guts, I guess, really tap into a gentler side of him that he's not familiar with. This is going to be a big learning experience as to not terrify the living daylights out of Casca at every opportunity, because Guts is very quick to anger, because he's used to always being on the defensive and used to always fighting. Moments of intimacy are very like rare for this man. So as she screams, Guts can only stand there and sit there with his head in his hand, realizing the sort of like the difficulties of this, you know, the challenges of this. And we have time passing, and he suits up in cool looking armor, guys. Cool looking armor. Can you use knives, Guts? I had judo teach me the ropes a long time ago. It's not my style, so that's as far as we went. That's cool. Throwing knives in memory of judo, best boy. It might be something I'll need this time. There. I mean, that's the get-up. It's getting very familiar here. Except the art style and how he's drawing, you know, Guts and these characters has changed and evolved over many chapters, which is really cool. I think at this point in time, which is actually really interesting to consider because we've been reading Berserk over like a few months now. I think it's been a few months. This is my concept of time that's probably going to shock me. Do I want to know how long I've been actually reading Berserk for? But if I take a look at when like this stuff was released, is at this point in time we have been reading, we've read, because the Japanese publication of the Black Swordsman arc, the very first chapter of Berserk, looks to have been at the end of 1990, I believe. That might be like a republication, because I'm pretty sure it started in the 80s. Just let me take a look, because I just want to make sure. Yeah, because it started in 1989 in the monthly Animal House magazine, which is now Young Animal. So 1989, but then I guess the publication of the first volume was in 1990, and we're currently reading volume 14, which was published in 1997. So like at this current point in time, we're reading like in like 7 or 8 years into Berserk. Like there's a lot of time for that art style to improve and change and adjust over time. So it's going to be really interesting, and something that I'm trying to actually keep in mind more recently than I was before is actually analyzing that of what's the timeline of Berserk look like in real life, especially as we move into what is known as Berserk's hiatus periods, you know, because I am aware that this is one of those infamous manga series that has some long hiatuses which came in around the mid-2000s. So it's going to be really interesting when we see events that are being like experienced here or like written down that we're reading, and I think some things that new readers like myself might not think about at the time is, man, it might have been like 3 years since something like this has happened, you know, or like it might have been like years of waiting for a follow-up here. Like at this point in time, it's been 7 or 8 years of Berserk being published that the Black Swordsman has come back. So like the Golden Age arc has strung on for a lot of real life, you know. So this isn't just something that consistently released like every week or something for a while. This is it. So this is us seeing the Black Swordsman for the first time again in like, for first time readers back then, in like 7 or 8 years. So it'd be pretty like significant for people who started reading at the very beginning. Just like a real life thought, I guess. It's just very interesting. Say, why are all your clothes and armor all black? Because I'll be fighting in lots of dark places. They are in the darkness. Hey, Guts, give me your left arm. Oh, Rickert puts it together for him. That's cool. Trust me. Like this, and putting everything together. Artificial arm, huh? It's groovy. Guts using the word groovy. That is in his vocabulary. I made it from stuff in Master Godo's storehouse. It's magnetized so you can grip a sword too. Oh, it's magnetized. Cool, so I guess it's just gonna be like that. Yeah, alright, that's cool. I like that. I like that. Here's this. Here, there's this too. I help too. Little reason why it's groovy. Yup. Let's see. Face that rock and point the hand at it. Huh? Now, pull the metal part on this side. Right, that. And Godo just pokes his head in like, what's up? Ah, you done getting ready? And like, you're about to get shot. Yeah, I'm about to leave. That was a close call. Good grief. Going through a man's stock in trade and taking whatever you want. This is why they say mercenaries ain't no better than thieves. I owe you a lot. Heck, I'll just make him work off the cost of the food and arms, eh? My farewell gift. Take it and go. I don't know who you're going off to fight, or where, but you won't get far without this. Interesting, so he's not taking the Dragon Slayer with him. We've got another sword first, before the giant slab of iron, so I guess we're really being, like, shown that it's like, it's not quite that time yet. Unless he decides to take it with him immediately, we'll have to see, I don't know. I just forged it, it ain't my best, but it's damn fine. If you're careful with it, you shouldn't nick at all. And he goes to test it on a sword on the anvil and swing it on down, and he just chops another sword in half. How about it? Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Oh, because he was thinking sacrifice. This little troll thing's sniffing him out. And the brand begins to bleed. At least that's like his way of being able to like detect danger. Is this where Harry Potter's scar takes inspiration from, you think? With Voldemort? There's a lot of ideas that were used as inspiration for Harry Potter, you know. A hell of a lot of things. What's the matter? Ooh, here we go. Found you. Leftovers. Not good. And who are you? Wait. He's my guest. I followed the scent of evil. My nose is really good. Look, I mean, we've had some demon villains in our time, right? And they've been all sorts of bad and evil. This guy's just gonna get his head cut off immediately, unless he's got like some sort of massive transformation that he's hiding that we've seen from like some demons we've faced before. I have a feeling that we're just gonna watch this guy get his shit wrecked. But who knows? Because we'll move into chapter 94, which does begin with Casca's sweating because her brand is also bleeding, and she was like, she probably does not even know what this is right now. He Who Hunts Dragons is the name of this one. Oh, there's our transformation. Ah, and this is where the Dragon Slayer comes in. We got a fucking dragon with thick ass cheeks transforming. There you go. I was like, he's obviously gonna have a transformation. We've seen some shit happen before. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. What the hell? Guts, it's... Everybody stay back. Urge to kill. My lucky day. The first one. That face, maniacal. Blacking out any fear. Holy shit, Guts. Okay. That's some rage right there. You really want to just visualize primal rage? There you are. Me when I'm really hungry and I'm fighting over the last hot dog, right? That's literally what that is. And he just fucking bolts out of that door. Speedy, with his brand new sword, and pushes him out. Oh, wow. That's a nice clean slice. This response, will it work? What in damnation is wild game? It's the first in my hunt. Sacrifice. I love the demons that just have multiple heads. Oh, wow. Again, slicing right across him. Slices the arm right off. Okay, so we got a transformation. But he is still getting his shit rocked. With this sword, I can kill it. Oh, wow. This is bad. I doubt it would nick, no matter how many people he cut with it. But I didn't make that for cutting in human things. Which means he's gonna give him the Dragon Slayer. He's slicing and dicing across this dude. And he busted his sword. Yeah. Well, that was a fun sword for a little while. It's gone. And then it's time for this dude to get a little bit of revenge in this fight and throws him into the barn. With his intestines pouring out of his body as well. Food. Oh no. Guts. The fucking sword's still in his intestines as they're pouring out of him. Oh, this is really cool. How this is like, this panel here has been drawn in the shape of his eye. It's like, this is his point of view. I don't think so. If I'm gonna bite it in a place like this, then why the hell did I survive? Guts, your artificial hand. Point it at that thing. Hurry. Pull the metal part at the base. This is the first time of him using this. The cannon arm. I'm hungry. Boom! Oh my god. It just goes right through the face and out the back end. So cool. Yeah! He's got a cannon in his arm? You gotta be kidding me. So good. My shoulder. It's out of joint. Oh wow, he dislocated his shoulder because of the kickback. So he's going to really have to learn how to deal with that. Just bam, that recoil. Too much gunpowder. Ah, and he looks back behind him at a familiar, to us, a familiar slab of iron leaning up against the wall. Hey. And there it is. How to slice a demon in half with a massive slab of metal, clean cut down the middle. Bam! And there it is. A second swing to finish the job of Guts effortlessly wielding this new weapon. Wow. You held out on me, Godo. You got something much better suited to my fight. You can wield it. That thing. You're just full of surprises. The guts hanging off of Guts' new sword. Erica. Guts right now. He's scary. Puts that sword on his back. Sitting in the pose of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, which is another series that we know would have taken much inspiration from Berserk, of a Cloud versus Sephiroth mentality. Sephiroth being the one-winged angel, and Guts and Griffith being the type of characters that they are. You know, archetypes that we see very often, but certain times you can see these very big similarities, that Cloud is this warrior type who wields his own big slab of iron in the form of a Buster Sword, and then we have Sephiroth, who is more of the dexterous, fighting with the Musamune, you know, like, and how he fights. And it's funny because you know, there are people that grow up with different types of media and all of that kind of stuff, and I grew up and was raised on Final Fantasy, but primarily Final Fantasy VII. That was like, you know, so seeing these character archetypes at this point in time, you know, and seeing like stuff that I loved, that I grew up with, that has been, you know, notably and inspired by this media is very cool. And being able to then like play through Dark Souls and seeing the inspirations pulled from Berserk in there as well. I've even seen like comparison photos which are so like on the nose of seeing like, you know, Griffith at the eclipse, at the start of the eclipse, holding the Baelet on the lake with the eclipse starting. You know, we've seen like that scene with Thanos in Avengers Infinity War of being very much the same like kind of thing that they're hearkening back to. Berserk inspirations in media is a very cool thing. It's a very cool thing to now go back to where those inspiration, like where they found their inspiration on, and actually indulge and engage in this media. It's very, very cool. I find what's really cool as well, though, is I find the Guts and Griffith relationship and dynamic to be the best version of that. You know, I'm a diehard Final Fantasy VII fan, and I love that sort of stuff, but the Cloud versus Sephiroth dynamic and relationship is one of the weaker parts of Final Fantasy VII to me. I love those characters, but the way that we have been sold a relationship and a very compelling story between Guts and Griffith is above and beyond so many other pieces of media on how they sell a relationship between people. This is very good stuff. So I'm not like blinded by my childhood or nostalgia to go Guts and Griffith has nothing on Cloud and Sephiroth, because that is just certainly not the case. I'm very much enjoying the relationship between the characters in this series. Dragons are dragons because humans can't beat them. Well, guess who can fucking beat them now? So what's a man who beats dragons? You're not going to say anything to Casca? Nah. Guts, listen. What I think is that maybe you should stay here. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to admit it, but the Band of the Hawk is gone. I know it sounds harsh, but instead of getting revenge for dead people, you should be with Casca now. It ain't over. The Band of the Hawk ain't gone yet. Not yet. We're still here. Wow, so he's still really holding on to the Band of the Hawk as a title. He's not like renouncing that or anything. He's like, no, we're still here. We're still fighting. Huh? This war ain't over. Take care of Casca. She's our leader. Protect her. I'm captain of the raiders, so I'll raid the enemy camp. Right? Revenge. War. Maybe any reason was good enough. But one thing's for sure. Right now, there's some dismal rage inside me. And that's all there is, supporting these 2 feet. It pushes me to walk onward. Holy crap, that is a good panel. He Who Hunts Dragons, end. And I think that this is our chapter that ends the Golden Age arc, as he is a reborn warrior in this moment, as he has had his first kill of this new period of time. He's slain his first demon as the Black Swordsman. He's fully geared up. He's got his new sword. He's got his new arm, and off he goes to hunt demons. And I am assuming then in this case that as this is closing out the Golden Age and we finish, we now move on to, there's probably going to be that time skip to go past what we know of the Black Swordsman arc, where we've seen him hunt a couple of demons already, and now he's going to be with Puck and they'll be on that journey. So I think, obviously I don't know, but it's a safe assumption to feel like we will jump ahead past what we have witnessed in the Black Swordsman arc. Maybe there'll be like a refresher. Like I said, there's been 7 or 8 years in real time, so maybe there might be a summary of events, is what I can assume. But we're gonna get the Black Swordsman, we're gonna get Puck, and we're gonna go back into that period of time once again of He Who Hunts Dragons. Except it's gonna be He Who Hunts Demons. on a road to revenge. And so we know what's currently happening with Casca is she's just going to stay up in the mountains, because that's all her character is capable of right now, unfortunately. But Rika is alive, which is great, and staying with Godo, and, you know, they're able to stay up there and I guess be safe for the most part, as it was a place where the elves used to be. So that's pretty cool. That will bring this episode of Berserk to an end. So thank you so much for reading and listening along with me for the multiple rambles throughout this chapter. This one just has, I guess, brought a lot out of me to really talk about in many ways. So I hope that's okay, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of what we have spoken about and discussed. And I would love to know your thoughts and feelings on this particular moment in the story, because this is a pretty big part of the story now, where we move into something completely new. So we'll be moving into the next arc of Berserk, which I believe, let's get a name for that. It's called the Conviction arc. So we're going to be moving into the Conviction arc next episode. So thank you so much for listening to me talk and read Berserk to you and give you my thoughts and feelings, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.